Okay, hi guys, Meg Redler here, Executive National Vice President, and I am so excited for tonight's Road to Region call. We are truly in for a treat, as I don't know if you, for most of you guys who are on Instagram, I'm sure you are following Heather and Hillary. They're twins and they are rock stars in Arbonne and truly just paving the way for all of us leaders and all of you guys as sidelines to them of what's possible. I love that this Road to Region is starting on a new month, and it's also Monday, so like what a freaking way to start a month out, right? Monday, new mindset, new month, like let's freaking go. I don't know about you, but January was such a breath of fresh air for myself, and I know my team, just being kind of away from the mindset of 2020. It's 2021, it's a new year, new goals, new visions, new aspirations. And it's time, you guys. We have 300, well, now how many? 330 days to finish this out and hit our goals for 2021. And so, uh-oh. Lindsay, can you, there you go, perfect. With that being said, we have 365 days to really write a new story, whatever that looks like for you. But you have to declare it right now, because everything that you do every single day from today until December 31st, 2021 starts with declaring it and deciding. And so I'm going to quickly just touch on declaring the 4 Ds. Number 1, decide, and Heather's going to like hit the nail on the head with this. But I truly believe when you start a new month and you start out for a big goal for yourself, it starts with a decision. And so decide right now, today, February 1st, whatever your goal is. Each and every one of you are area managers. I have no doubt in my mind, if you, after you listen to this call and listen to Heather, that by February 28th this month, every single one of you can be in qualification for regional vice president. No joke. It can happen, and how freaking amazing would that be for this entire multi-nation to see the growth and the decision and the explosion, promotion, commotion. Decide you're going for it, whatever that goal is. But I encourage you to dream big and put that big ass goal up there. Excuse my language. Decide you're going for it. So that's the first D, is decide. The second is determine what you need. And this is something that you guys can all do with your upline. Go plan your strategy session with your upline. Go through your organization. Determine what that's going to look like. Determine how many people you're going to serve and help this month. What does your network look like today? Because your network that you have right now is going to continue doing what they're doing right now. So where do you need to fill in the gaps? How many more people do you need to help? How many more people do you need to enroll in your business? How many people do you need to help get into qualification, promote, hit their area achievement award or their achievement award? So number 2 is determine. Determine what you need to finish out your goal this month. The third D is declare it to the world. And you guys, if you've been following Heather, I'm so excited for you to share this. She declared it to the world. The 1st of January, she got on her social media and told everybody, told her husband, told her entire family, told everyone that follows her, I am going to be in qualification for national vice president. You watch me work these next 31 days. And she was on there, consistent, every single day, showing up, going live. Like, I have chills all over my body sharing this because it makes me so excited and like emotional just to be able to watch her. I had my team literally texting me, where's Heather at? What is she doing? Like, you guys, people are watching, sidelines are watching. Imagine your network. They're like, what the heck crack is this chick on? Like, what is she doing? What is she going for? I want to help her. Wow, you know? So the third one is declare it to the world. And the fourth one is do the do. It starts with you, but it starts with activity. If you have nothing on your calendar besides our team calls this month, get to work. Book your calendar. What does that look like? How many events are you doing? How many 3-way calls are you getting on with your upline? What activity do you need to get into or lock arms with your upline to get into action, you guys? Nobody quits a full calendar. Nobody quits activity motivated people. When you have a team, you guys, you all have a team. You're all area managers. I'm sure you all have multiple district managers. They are watching you. Right now, your business is a pot. I just shared this with our VPs. Your business is a pot sitting on a stove with water in it. Is your business lukewarm because you are not lighting the fire? What's your business look like right now? Heather, her pot, and she's going to touch on this, last month, her pot was cold. Okay? She decided, I don't want my water to be cold anymore. I need to ignite the freaking heat. And she lit that fire and her entire, like exploded, ignited. It's insane. I cannot wait for her to share. So the fourth one is do. Number one, decide. Number two, determine.
No idea where this is coming from.
Molly, can you mute yourself, please? And number four, do the do. You guys, I am going to pass it over to Heather because I am fired the frick up, if you can't tell. I cannot wait for her to share a little bit about her story. You know, what was her shift in her mindset from, you know, having a pot of cold water to like going nation qual and running with it, and really kind of what that shift was. So Heather, I'm gonna zip my lips. I love you. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, and take it away, girl.
Oh my gosh, Meg, thank you so much for having me on. And it's like so fitting too to like be on here right after going nation qual, because I'm gonna share my story and you guys are gonna hear like Meg actually has like so many like little parts like intertwined in my story too. So I'm just like so honored to be on here, you guys. So okay, I'm gonna share my story, and like throughout I'm gonna share like my tips of just, you know, making those shifts, like Meg said, like making that decision and all of that. So, okay, I'm just gonna backstory. I actually got introduced to Arbonne like 8 years ago. Didn't sign up for 6 years after that. And also, by the way, just before I get started, just wanted to let all of you know my story is not typical, and you can find what's typical at earnings.arbonne.com. I am gonna share my numbers and throughout my story too, just because I think it's super powerful to kind of see when a decision happens and like what can shift, you know, numbers wise. So it's not typical, but you can take a look at that. Earnings.arbonne.com. Okay, so I got introduced to Arbonne 8 years ago, like loved the products, all that stuff, whatever. Introduced my entire family to them. They were all like ordering Arbonne all the time. And then obviously introduced my twin sister, Hillary. So I'm going to talk about her a lot. She's Executive National Vice President, Hillary Duggan. She has a crazy, amazing success line. I'm just so grateful for her. But so I introduced her to Arbonne, which is really funny, and started using, you know, we all were using the products, all that stuff. So like about 6 years after that, she started her business. She was crushing it. She had all this like amazing success. And I was watching on the sidelines for about a year and a half while I was watching her. I was watching her just like kill it. She had, you know, she used to be a teacher. She is a mama. So I was like, this is so perfect for you. But in my mind was like, what business would I ever have doing Arbonne? Because I have this like fancy corporate job. I have a degree, all that stuff. Like, why would I need to do Arbonne? Like, I'm good. But I watched her do it, and I watched her be super successful and have all this fun. And you guys, this is funny. I used to literally come to close night parties at her house, and I would come to close night parties just because I had FOMO and I wanted to hang out with them. And I would like be texting everybody collecting orders. I would literally pair up with like whoever on her team was going for a goal. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, like messaging someone like, my friend Lauren, she's going for this big goal in her Arbonne business. Like, would you look at the catalog? Literally, guys, did that for like 2 years. It's madness. So I did that for a while, like totally had no idea that I would ever do Arbonne. And then flash forward to, October 2018, Hilly had earned the trip to Jamaica through AIT trip. She earned the trip and was like gonna bring her husband, but then the last minute they decided like, okay, Kyle was gonna stay home with their baby, and then she's like, do you want to come with me on this trip? And I'm like, yeah, like absolutely, I'll go to Jamaica with you. And like I even told her before I left, I'm like, Hilly, by the way, I'm not gonna do Arbonne, so don't use this as like your ploy to get me to do Arbonne. I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm just going on this trip with you. I like went into work the next day and was like, I need next week off, and they're like, okay. And luckily they gave it to me off, because I literally was like, I'm going no matter what. So I go on this trip. I'm like in Jamaica. We end up, Hilly had earned like top 20 or top 15 or something like that. So she had like the butler suite, which was literally catty cornered to Meg. So this was our room, and this was Meg and her mom. And we like were 2 seconds away. So of course we're like attached to the hip. She ended up getting sick. It was so sad, but we like were attached to the hip like the whole weekend, and just like staying up till like 3 a.m, having wine nights. Like, it was amazing. But so we're on this trip. Before the trip, I remember telling my husband, I'm like, babe, I'm so excited for this trip, but like I'm also kind of like worried because it's just gonna be all Arbonne people, and like I don't know, like they might be. I hope they're cool and stuff. Like I seriously, you guys, like had no idea what was about to happen. So on that trip, everyone in Arbonne's freaking amazing, and I was so obsessed with them, and I'm like, I need these people in my life all the time. Like, how am I not in this? What am I doing? And on that on that trip, I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing back at home. Like, what is that? What is happening back there? Like, I am working 60 hours a week at a job I don't like at all. I don't know what the heck I was doing there. I'm like, I'm literally working 60 hours a week at a job that I don't like to take home a paycheck that doesn't even really cover my bills. Like, what is happening? And I just had all these like total mindset moments where I'm like, I don't like my job. Why am I doing that? And actually I had this really, really, really important conversation with Meg. I actually share it all the time. Almost every one-on-one that I'm on, I share this story, Meg. I don't know if you know that, but we stayed up till like 3 a.m, maybe 4 a.m. I don't know, on the very last night that we were there. And we were talking and we were up all night, like drinking wine. She was like, my flight is in an hour and a half. Like I guess I'm not sleeping tonight. But we were talking all night and she's asking me about my job. And she's like, so what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I work at this corporate job. It's like the software company, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, okay, wait, so how long have you worked there? And I'm like, oh, like, I don't know, like 5 years or something. And she's like, oh, okay, so you must absolutely love that then. And I'm like, which, you know, we always say that in Arbonne. That's like it's like the best way to talk to someone about the business. But when she said that, I was like, actually, no, I don't love what I do. Like, no, not at all. Like, and she's like, wait. And she literally said, wait, why do you do something that you don't love? And I did not have an answer for her. I was like, because like everyone does that. Like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't even answer. I was like, I don't know. I don't know why I do this. No idea. And she's like, okay. And then we start talking about like all this stuff. And she's like, what do you want to do in 5 years? And I'm like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. And then Meg goes, well, okay. So I love everything you just said, but, nothing that you said has anything to do with anyone except for yourself. So I'm not trying to be like rude, but like, what are you going to do for the world and like your family and the people and like everybody? And I was just like, oh my God, I have no idea. I'm not doing anything that's like going to impact anyone. I'm literally teaching people how to use software. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So literally like that, yeah, drunk Meg was out. It was freaking epic. And so the whole flight home, Hilly's like sleeping. She's like just sleeping peacefully on my shoulder on the plane. And I'm sitting there like wired. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I think I have to do Arbonne. Like, I think I have to do it, but like, what do I do? Like, do I do it? I don't know. Like, I was freaking out. I get home. I like was out in my cubicle the next morning at 8 a.m. was so miserable. And like, get home from work that day. James was like, babe, how was work? Like, how was your first day back at work? And I was like, oh, it was awful. And he's like, wait, what do you mean? Because like I'm just like a positive person, so I'm always like, no, it's good, like work was good. But I'm like, it was awful. And he's like, wait, what are you talking, like what happened? I'm like, no, nothing happened, I just hate my job, like I need to leave my job. And he's like, whoa, okay, like, oh, I guess you want to leave your job, like let's find you something else to do. And I'm like, no, I want to do Arbonne. And he's like, wait, what? Like, had no idea. Like, I had not told him anything from the trip about like my mindset shift and everything. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do Arbonne. And he's like, okay, babe, like if you want to do Arbonne, do it. I will totally support you, but like actually do it. Don't just say you're gonna do it and like whatever. So I'm like, yep, doing it. I'm gonna do Arbonne. I'm gonna quit my job, which obviously that was like my choice. I decided like when I got to the area manager level that we were comfortable enough like that I could quit my job at that point. So I'm like, I'm going area. And it was October 22nd. And I'm like, I'm going area. And that month I was like, I'm going area call, like literally freaking out, so excited, talking to every single person I knew, like setting so many reach outs, doing like, I think I did like 5 parties in like a week or something. And then the end of October, we ended with like 1900 QV or something like that. And I remember like, I was so sure at like 9 p.m. I'm like, something's going to happen and we're going area call. Like, I don't even know how it's going to happen, but we're going area call. I had like 8 days in the month, ended with 1900. And I'm like, well, that's not how I expected this to happen. Like, okay, I've watched like Hilly's team, like every time they get started, they're like, they have all these close day miracles, like what the heck? And I'm like, okay, no, like, I'm just going to keep going. So like November 1st, I'm like, I'm doing this, whatever. I was running. And like, this is my first tip, you guys. is like, I started, like, I knew from the get-go that I wanted to be a VP. Like, that was my number one thing. Hilly was a VP. I'm like, I've seen her go through district, area, and then to region. I'm like, I want to be a VP. Like, I have to be a VP. So I started, like, literally, I chose my date, my region dates. That's another thing too. Have a date in mind of when you're doing it. I had my region date. It was February 28th of 2019. Yeah. And I was like, I started telling everyone, every single person I talked to, I'm like, okay, I'm going for this big goal in my R-bound business. By the way, like, think back to 1900 QV. Okay. I was like, I'm going region. I'm about to promote to the regional vice president level in my company. I'm going for it. Like, I'm going to be able to drive. This was like, honestly, you guys, kind of pre, like, all the compliance, like, crackdown. So I was like, I'm getting to Ben's, like, all this stuff, whatever. But like, that's kind of like how I felt. I was telling everyone, like, I'm going to go, like, I'm going to earn a Benz. I'm going to go be able to pick out my white Mercedes that I can earn it with the Mercedes cash award. Like, I am doing this. And I told every single person in my whole life, every single friend, every single family member, every single, like, person I would meet literally at Starbucks, we'd be talking and I'd be like, yeah, I'm going, like, I'm up for a promotion in my Arbonne business. Like, I was telling everyone. And the funniest part was, like, mid-November of that year was when I finally started to, like, get a team. Like, I had sponsored, like, one girl, and then I sponsored another, like, enrolled another girl a couple days later. So I had, like, 2 girls that were on my team. They were kind of like, okay, this is cool. And then we were running, you guys. I was at 3,000 QV on the 27th of November. And I'm like, we're going area qual. We're going area qual. It's happening. And then by the end of that month, on close day, I enrolled 3 girls who all ended up going into qualification for district manager in one day. So it was like, in one day, that was an extra 3,000. We ended the month at 11,696. So literally in 3 days, went from 3,000 to 11,696. Had a couple of girls on my team. And then the funniest thing was on December, like, first week of December, we went to our nation meeting that was in Irvine. We would every month go to the home office for our nation meeting, and we would do recognition and everything like that. So they're like, okay, if you're a current district manager, stand up. And I, like, stood up because I had, gone district that month. And then, like, the girls, I had brought, like, 5 of my new consultants with me, and the girls are like, wait, hold on. Wait, you're a district manager? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, wait, I thought you were, like, going region. I'm like, yeah, I am going region. And they're like, wait, I totally thought you were, like, already, like, a VP or something. Like, I'm confused, because I was so decided in my mind that that's where I was headed, that every single person I talked to, every single person on my team, I'm like, we're going region by February 28th. We're going region by February 28th. So they just, like, figured that we were already, like, in the process. And I'm like, no, like, I'm a district manager, I'm in area qualification, and we're going region by February 28th. Like, that's what's happening. So definitely, like, act as if you are that person and show up as the level that you want to be. If you want to be a level, it's not about, like, it honestly, you guys, is not always about the activity. Like, activity is so important. And of course, that's what, like, gets you the QV. That's what gets you to the next level. But you have to be that person. You have to believe you are that person in order to make that happen. And so I was already a VP in my mind. And then December 1st, I woke up, I'm like, I'm going region qual. It's happening. I'm going region qual. So I just was like, I'm going to just bypass area and I'm going to go region. So I was like a crazy person. Actually, all 5 girls that I had enrolled in November weren't working their business anymore. So I was like a team of 1 again. They all were like, I just decided, like, it's just not a thing for me. So I was back to being a team of 1, but I'm like, I'm going region. I will find new people, because it's not about your team, you guys. It's about you. You are your team. You're your team. And if you aren't working and you're not showing up, your team isn't going to be showing up. And so I can't tell you how many times in the last 2 years of being a VP that I've had the thought to myself, like, what's happening? Where's my team? Why aren't they working? Well, my team quit. Well, I'm rebuilding, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, anytime I've ever had those thoughts, it's because I was that too. I was stuck and I wasn't finding new people and I wasn't having high energy and I didn't have the belief that I could do it. So it's you're your team. Okay. So, like, Hilly has this thing now where it literally pisses me off so much, but She has this thing where anytime I check my numbers, if I'm like, hey, let me see where we're at. Let me see where we're at. And if I like look at it and I'm like, oh, if I ever get frustrated, she goes, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. You better get to work. You haven't added any new QV, so why would you expect your QV to jump? And I'm like, because I'm going nation and I need help from people. Like, I can't do this myself. She's like, no, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. You go find more QV. If you have any time to check your numbers, you're not doing enough activity. And so I was just like all last month, so frustrated because I'd be like, we're supposed to be at this right now. Like, what's happening? And she's like, if it's meant to be, it's up to you. You can do it yourself. You can literally find 160,000 of volume that from you personally, you can do that. And I'm like, oh my God, but it's true. You are your team. If your numbers aren't moving, it's because you're not moving. You're not in enough activity. You're not in enough action. So so in December, my whole team that I had enrolled just, kind of fell off, which is fine. That's what happens. And so if you've ever gone area qual or, obviously everyone been here is areas. So if you've ever had a team quit, that doesn't mean that you're not going to hit your goal. It just means you need to go find a new team. So in December, I was like running for region qual, literally like telling everyone, like, I've upped my goal and I'm doing it this month. Instead of January, I'm doing it this month. It's happening. And ended up, I think we ended the month. I worked to the last second on New Year's Eve. We ended the month at like 14,800 was where we ended. So we finished area. It was amazing. I was so happy. We actually finished area like a few days early. And so that was really, really fun. But it was funny because it was pretty anticlimactic because everyone on the whole team knew I was going for region qual. And that was like the goal I was going for. It wasn't like, I'm going for region qual, quote unquote, but like, I'll be happy with area. It was like, I'm going region qual, nothing less is going to make me happy. Like, that's what's going to happen. So it was really funny. Like, when I finished area, I put in the last order. It was like 3 days early. And I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm an area manager. I did the math. I'm like calling Hilly, trying to get a hold of her. She's not answering. I'm like calling our other uplines. I'm like, does anyone want to celebrate me going area? But like, and then finally get a hold of Carly Pinchin, who a lot of you probably know her. She is now 3-wide ENVP up in Canada. She's #1 in Canada. She's amazing. And funny story is that we started the exact same month. Hilly ended up, when the month that she started, it was like Hilly did a bold reach out in Jamaica when we were sitting there, and Hilly was like, I'm in Jamaica and I want you to come to the next AIT trip. And that's when Carly signed up. So I like witnessed that all go down when I was with her in Jamaica. It was insane. And so I ended up FaceTiming Carly. I'd never talked to her in my life. And I'm like, she answers, she's like, hi, did you mean to call me? She's like, so funny. And I'm like, yeah, I just finished area and no one's answering their phones. And like, I just wanted to tell someone. And she's like, oh my gosh, so amazing. And then we ended up talking for like an hour, but it was so exciting. So that was December, right? I fell short of 40, but I worked until the last second, you guys. I've never done so many like messages. I met so many new people that month. I did so many events. Like, it was insane. And then, so what happens when you work to the last minute? Guess how many seeds you're freaking planting? Like, it's not about if you hit your goal that month. It's about how many seeds did you plant in order to, bring you over into the next month. And so January comes around and I'm like, all right, for reals this time, I'm doing it. I'm going region. It's happening. I was like so on fire. I literally did, I think like 15 events that month. It was like, I swear every other day I was having an event. It was like an in-person event. And also, like, another tip here is that, like, I feel like a lot of people want to go region, and a lot of you, everyone on this call probably is like dying to go region. But what's like the truth of the matter is like, you're not going to go region if you don't have a jam-packed calendar. And the best news for you is that you can create your calendar. Like, you decide what you do every day. So it's not about like, oh, I don't have anything on my calendar, so I'm screwed. It's like, I don't have anything on my calendar, so like book up your calendar, like plan your events, like put things on the calendar. And that actually, I'll talk about that too in a little bit, because that's what I did to go nation qual. I'm apparently in my mind already a nation, but so in January, we were like in so much activity. Like, it was so absolutely insane. Like, I've never been so busy. Also, meanwhile, you guys, I was still working my full-time job. I was still working 60 hours a week. I was super broke at the time. And so I was picking up shifts at the restaurant that I worked at. So I was literally working 60 hours a week at a restaurant. I would get off at 5 and then I would go to the restaurant at 6 and I would work an entire shift till like 11 or so at the wine bar restaurant that I worked at. And I would be like, when I fit my business in was, okay, first of all, lunch breaks, obviously. I no longer had a lunch break. That was not a thing in my mind. Lunch breaks were Arbonne time. So I would like, one of my main goals every single day was to book a call at 1 o'clock the next day. So like I would do as many reach outs as it took to get a call for 1 o'clock the next day. So whether that was 10 reach outs or 20, I would just keep reaching out until I booked a call for the next day on my lunch break. And every single day, like clockwork, at 1 o'clock, I had a call. I would walk downstairs on my lunch break. I would hop on a call. A lot of times it was like three-way calls with Hilly. Three-way calls are super important, you guys. But I was on a call every single day. And if I wasn't on a call, I was like, okay, well, I didn't book a call, so now I have to do 50 reach outs on my lunch break. So I would do it. And I would sit there on my lunch break. I'd sit in my car and I would do reach outs. And then another side note to this is that my job was like, I was technically not allowed to have like a side hustle at my job. Like it was like technically wasn't in the contract, but they were super, super weird about it. Actually the nights that I would be helping Hilly hit her goals and I'd be at close nights and stuff. And I'd be like, I would post something here and there, to try to help her girls get their goals, which is still so funny to me. But the CEO of my company ended up pulling me aside and being like, so I understand that you're like trying to sell lipstick or something. And I was like, oh no, like my sister is, like I just help her sometimes. And he's like, okay, well, yeah, that's not allowed. And like, I'll give you a raise right now just to make sure that you don't go elsewhere trying to find anything. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. I got a raise. And I was like, this guy doesn't even know that I'm not even working Arbonne. But like, so it was like an unspoken rule that like I couldn't do Arbonne. So when I first started a business in October, crazy, yeah, love it, Rose. So craziest thing, you guys, is that I did not post one single thing on my Instagram from October until the day I went Region Qual. I did not post one thing on Instagram, not one thing on Facebook, not one thing on social media, because I wasn't allowed to. I didn't want to get fired. So that was like kind of my only option, was to not post about it. And then in January, or like okay, so I went area in December. I decided to quit my job because my husband and I had said if I go area, I could still be picking up shifts at the restaurant, but I'd have more time to work my business. So January 2nd, I put in my 2 weeks notice. January 16th was my last day of work. So it was like the very, very, very end of December. And I decided like, I was going for Regents. So I'm like, I need to be posting about this. Like people need to know that I'm doing this. Like I was so antsy to like post and like tell the world and like people to share on social media and do all that stuff because everybody else was doing it. But I was like, I can't do that. I'm gonna get fired. And I'd go back and forth, like maybe I'll just get fired. I don't care. But ended up like at the end of December, I'm like, that's it. I'm blocking everyone that I work with. I'm just gonna block them all. I'm gonna block everybody, like whatever. Blocked every single person I worked with, blocked all their spouses, everything. 8 a.m. the next day, I get called into HR saying, we noticed that you blocked us on social media. Is there a reason that you did that? And I'm like, I guess I just like don't really want to mix like work with like my personal life. And they're like, oh, well, that's just like really shady. Like it was so wild, you guys. So I'm like, well, shoot, like, and I was kind of at this point of like, okay, I guess I'm just not going to post anything yet. Like I was just in this weird thing of like, what do I do? So I just decided like, you know what? I'm not going to post anything until I quit my job. Like I can do it. I don't need Instagram to do this. So I, of course, just like kept going. January 16th was my last day of work. I was gone. I'm so stoked. I was like, never been so happy in my life. And then I was able to start like posting about what I was freaking doing, which was really, really fun to like kind of shift in that. But I wanted to share that with you guys because social media is not your business. It's really not. Like, it's so many people get caught up in like what they're going to post and like the stories and the content and the videos. And like, although that's such an amazing tool that we have, it's not your business. So if you think activity is like posting and activity is like doing videos and doing stories, it's not activity. That's not considered income producing activity. So you have to build your business like in a million different ways. And social media is just one tool to use that. So quit my job in January. We worked our butts off. We seriously were like insanely hustling that whole month. Ended up going Region Qual. We ended up at 44,000 that month. So we went from 14,000 to 44,000. My team grew from having about 5 consultants where only like a couple of them were working to about 45 consultants by the end of January. So it was like absolute madness. Like 45 sponsors. So it was like PCs and consultants, but it was insane. And it was just like all this just craziness. And then the next month, we actually had the same promotions where it was 3,500 to go district in January. And so I promoted 10 direct district managers in January that year, 10 direct district managers. And one of them maintained their district the next month. So 9 out of the 10 hit 2,500, 9 out of 10 did not hit 2,500. 1 of the 10 hit 2,500 the next month. Okay. So I had a lot of people kind of just give up their businesses. Like they went district and they just kind of gave up. And I'm like, well, shoot, I have to finish region this month and I can't even get a hold of most of these girls. Like they won't even respond to me. So what am I going to do? Well, I went out and I found like so many new people to like enroll into this business. And we ended up having like 2 girls go area qual that month. Like it was insane. We ended the month at February 28th at like 9:00 p.m. We ended with 56,000 QV and we finished region in February of last year or 2019. So that was insane, like absolute madness. I did it. I did what I said I was going to do. Like everyone was reaching out to me being like, when are you going to go get your bends? Like, which one are you getting? All this stuff. Like everyone was like interested for sure into my goal and stuff. But then, okay, so that happened. That was amazing. And it was like the best thing that's ever happened to me. I've never been so happy. And then I was like, I'm going to go freaking nuts and go travel the world. And I went on 17 trips in 1 year. And was like so obsessed with like traveling and just like working from my phone. And I'm like all over the place. We're going on trips. We're doing all this stuff. Like it was the best year ever, right? It was so amazing. And I'm not going to lie, I was definitely very stagnant in where I was, like business wise, because I was so comfortable and I was having the best time ever. And I was just like, this is amazing. I'm a VP. This is all I ever wanted. This is great. However, if you've ever felt that feeling of just being stuck and sitting there like, okay, well, where do I go? Like there's this thing that's called the capacity to have, which there's a podcast on it. I can send it to you. It's amazing, but it's about the capacity to have. And exactly what Meg just said is that my capacity of where I thought I was going to hit was RVP. I did not have my sights set on Nation. I thought that Nation was reserved for people who are like these unicorns. Like I was like, there's no way, absolutely no way. So for the whole, honestly, now it's been about exactly 2 years from when I went region qual. So it's like I was a VP for 2 years, and it was like I was such the lid on my team, you guys. I was literally like, like Meg said, there's a pot of water and there's a freaking lid on it, and it is like freaking duct taped shut. Like I was the lid, and Hilly would tell me this all the time, and I'd be like, no, I'm ready to go Nation. What are you talking about? My team is just this. My team, blah, blah, blah. There was 1 month that we went like halfway to Nation, and I had like 6 girls go area qual, and then all 6 of them quit. And I was just like, that's not my fault. Like it's not my fault. I'm not the lid. Like I'm going. It's just like these people kept quitting, like whatever. I was the lid. You are the lid. If you are wherever you are right now, you are the lid. Unless you're like literally going into qualification or promoting to a level of management this month, you're the lid. Like maintenance mode, you're the lid. I'm sorry to say that, but like I didn't know that for 2 years of being a VP. I was so convinced that I was not the lid and that I was like ready to go when everybody else was ready, all that stuff. And I would fill my time with a lot of personal growth, with a lot of team calls, with a lot of like random Instagram stuff, with like, I was still, maintain my region every month. There was only like 3 times that I ever didn't maintain my region over the last 2 years. But I was like, every month, like, okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to go halfway to Nation. Okay, I'm going to like, whatever. My goal was changing all the time. Like I was up and down. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for trifecta. Okay, no, I'm going to just go for maintenance. Okay, I'm going to go for halfway. Okay. Like my goal was up and down, up and down. I had no clear goal. I didn't have a date of when I wanted to be a Nation. I might come up with a date in my head, but I wasn't sticking to it or anything. And so I did that for 2 whole years of just like thinking that something was wrong with me, thinking that like I didn't have what it takes, thinking that maybe I'm just not deserving of being a Nation, maybe. And like anytime I say nation, you guys, like think of that towards like region, because obviously all of you are trying to go region, but I think that this part of my story is going to really, really help you guys. So like, I didn't feel deserving of being MVP. I didn't feel like I was ready. I was just like, well, I tried, so maybe it's just like not going to happen to me. And like, I had so many talks with like, you know, so many of the girls that are even on this call about just like, well, what am I doing wrong? Like, how's this? How's that? Blah, blah, blah. And then also, I forgot to say this, but I wanted to mention is that Meg actually was the guest speaker at my car party at my Ben's bash that we did. And she was like the guest speaker. And I just remember like having her like just pour belief into me that day. And I remember thinking like, yeah, I'm ready to go nation. But like in my mind, I wasn't, like, I just wasn't there yet. And so from, you know, all this was happening for 2 years, like every single month. Okay, I'm gonna go for this, okay, whatever. So December of like last month, so December 2020, we had our lowest month as a region ever. Lowest month as a region. I'm actually gonna show you guys. I pulled it up. So you guys are gonna literally lose your mind. I sent this to Meg earlier today, and she was
this
dead.
compliant, Shell? Can she show?
Is that okay?
What?
Is that okay? Yeah.
I think so.
Oh my God, I hope so.
Arbonne.com.
Yeah, earnings.arbonne.com.
Everybody check earnings.arbonne.com. This is not typical whatsoever. This was my month last month.
Hold on, I'm gonna make you can share it.
Can you share your screen like on your dashboard? If you're the host, you're not the host.
I just the host.
Log in.
Yeah,
girl.
I can. My app doesn't work on my phone for whatever reason, so I can like log into the website. Hang on one second.
Because this is
Or wait, I can do it.
Yeah, here, I'll send you my login right now.
Make me the host, Shelby.
okay.
I'll send you my login right now.
Oh wait.
Oh, no, I have it. You already sent it to me. I'm just gonna send the picture to my phone.
Perfect.
Hold on.
You guys, it's pretty wild.
Heather, you have to make me the host now.
Oh.
Meg the host. Make Meg the host.
Yeah, make me the host.
Okay, done.
Okay.
Perfect.
You guys, I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth the technical difficulties because it's that crazy.
Good. We are soaking you in right now.
Everyone's gonna replay this like 24/7.
Oh my God, I love it.
So awesome.
Okay, guys, sharing my screen. Okay, you see this?
That was
All right.
December 2020.
Okay,
That was
December 20.
last month.
Look at her district. Look at her region.
I wish I could see everyone's faces.
This is January. Do you guys see this?
Wait, you haven't shared the next one.
Oh,
wait.
shoot. Okay, hold on. How do I share?
I'm ready. I'd like to see your faces.
Shoot. Okay, hold on. I have it. I wish I could show the side by side. Can you see
Wait,
this?
that's still
Same.
December.
I'm affected. Hold on. Is that still December?
No, it's January.
Okay. You guys see this?
Holy shit. Oh my
1
God.
month difference.
So what area managers on here right now are hitting about 25,000?
Yeah.
You guys, this is so good.
Like chills.
So good.
Yeah.
Who is
So-
the lid?
So basically, this is what happened. I will explain everything. So December ended. I was like, wow, that was a really shitty month. Like, that was rough. And January 1st, I wake up and I'm like, well, I think I'm going to go Nation Qual this month. And I texted Hilly and I'm like, hey, Hilly, I think I'm going to go Nation Qual this month. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, yep, I'm just going to go Nation Qual. And she's like, wait, seriously? I'm like, yeah, I'm sick of my shit. I'm just going to go Nation Qual. It's happening. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. And then she started to get really excited. She's like, wait, weirdly, I actually believe you right now. And I'm like, I'm being dead serious. Like, this is happening. So keep in mind, you guys, I had a basically non-working team. I had like like not really, you know, not, I had been like, you know, I'm always working my business, always consistent. So like, I definitely had like planted a lot of seeds and stuff, but I didn't really have a working team. And yes, I learned that from you, Danielle, is that numbers are not freaking real. So I started January 1st and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to go Nation Koal, I need my entire schedule this entire month needs to be completely jam-packed. So I literally booked like either an event or a call or like a Facebook party or something every single day of the entire month. I got on my calendar and I wrote out every single day I had at least one thing on my calendar, so that already I just felt busy. I was like, oh wow, okay, I have so much to do. And it would be like, hey, 15-minute Facebook party. I would do like a skincare Facebook party. I would do a health and wellness, like healthy living Facebook party, whatever. And I just booked them all on my calendar. And this is the trick, you guys, is that I divided up the kits that I needed to go Nation Koal, and like you guys, like fit kits, or, you know, I think you guys do buy fit kits. So I divided it up, and it was like, this was before the price change. So I think it was like 504 fit kits to get me to my goal. And I had this crazy ass moment where I was like, wait, I know 504 people that would want to get healthier. Like I definitely have 504 people. And if you think that you don't, you do. Like if you go through your phone contacts, your Facebook, your Instagram, you go through every single, like, you know, social media platform that you use, you go to every single one. I promise you have 504 people in there that you can write down their names. So I went nuts. I literally stayed up till 3 a.m. I wrote down like 800 names of people. And I'm just like, I have so many people. Like, this is amazing. And I'm just like writing down all these people. And I'm like, oh my God, this person needs a kit. This person needs a kit. Like, everybody needs a kit. Like, freaking Oprah. I'm like, everyone needs a kit. And like, I had this weird moment in my mind where I'm like, I think I could do it by myself. I don't need a team. Like, I don't need anyone on my team to hit 504 kits. I can do it 100% on my own. And so that was like a really big shift for me. And that was like, oh, wait, I don't need a team. It doesn't matter who on my team isn't working. It doesn't matter who on my team is like, has quit and like all that stuff. And like, obviously when you're going region, it's like, realistically, yes, you want a team of people working with you. When you're going nation, yes, of course you need a team that's working with you, but you don't need your existing team. Your existing team is going to keep giving you what they've been giving you. And your existing team is not going to help you explode your business. You need new people in your team to explode your business. And so I was so done wondering what everyone else was going to do. Actually, like, took a page out of Danielle McCleary's book, and I reached out to every single person on my team, and I just we had a team rally call. I was like bawling hysterically. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize I was the lid this whole time, but like, I promise I will never do that again. And I'm just like running, and they're all like, whoa. So I reached out to every single person, like what Danielle taught me to do, and just be like, what is your goal? I want to help you get to your own goal, whether it's like you want to hit 1,000, whether you want to hit like have one kit, you know, like, doesn't matter. And I want to support you and not make it about me anymore. I'm going to support you and your goals. A lot of them, like people who were districts who I know can go area, they're like, I just want to maintain. I'm like, great. I love it. Normally I'd be like, oh, that's not going to get me to nation. But like, I was just like, no, amazing. Like, that's perfect. You do you. I will help support you in that goal. So I like took my kits and I'm like, okay, cool. So like with everybody on my team is going to do what they're going to do. We're about 400 kits away from Nation Koal, and like, perfect. Like, this is so done. It's happening. Like, I can find 400 people. So whatever your goal is, I actually want to, what's the math? It's 40,000 divided by, okay. So it's 122 fit kits to get you to Region Koal. So it's like, you know, 122 people, you know how amazing Arbonne's products are. You know, 122 people who need to up their skincare game, or who need to get on the 30 days healthy living. Like, you know that. So 122 people, that is not a lot of people. You all know that many people. And I think like what is really, really important to you, or what is really important to realize, is that like Jill Bush, ENVP Jill Bush always says, like, when it feels like nothing's happening, everything's happening. And I always would hear that and I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like when it feels like nothing's happening, everything's happening. Like can't wait to find out the day that I find out everything that's been happening this whole time because nothing's happening. And I was just always like so annoyed by that. But then what I realized on January 1st was I realized like, oh, when it feels like nothing's happening, everything's happening. And what has been happening this whole time is I have been like preparing my network and preparing my family and preparing my friends and preparing my team for this like moment of just, we're doing it right now. We're not waiting any longer. And so when I like, that's what had been happening this whole time was I had been like planting the seeds and watering the seeds and tending to the seeds or whatever, like just all of that. That's what was happening. So if your numbers haven't been moving, it's probably because you've just been planting a lot of seeds and you just now need to go get them. Like just go get like whatever, grow them. I don't know, I'm not a farmer, but like you just need to go get all of those seeds that you've planted. You've done so much more than you think. You have done so much more work on your network and on your team and on your like your family and your friends and everybody, so much more than you think. Every single one of you, I guarantee you, every single area manager on this call has 122 people out there in your network that will 100% hop on, get the 30 Days Healthy Living Kit, get a skincare set, or join your business. And then guess what? They might be able to, use their network to find people and their network to find people and their network to find people. And eventually it's going to freaking explode. So you all have that in your network right now, literally sitting there, just like simmering, like, okay, what's happening? And it's just waiting for you to say like, go, let's go now. Let's not wait another second. Let's not wait another hour. Like right now, let's go. And as soon as you say you're going to go, you have to actually go. That's like something I didn't do a lot of times where in my mind, I'd be like, I'm going to go nation. I'm going to do it. And then I'd like sit there and be like, okay, so, and like, there was so many times this month where I'd be like, do you think that I should do this? Do you think that, and Hillary was like, if you were going nation, you would just think of it and you would do it. And I'm like, Hilly, shut up. Like, it was like, even thinking about it for 1 second was too long. It was like, have an idea and go. Like think of someone to reach out to and do it. Think of like of a cool idea of an event that you want to do and execute it. Like you just have to think and do. 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So that is like what I did this month. It was like there was no time to think about anything. There was no time to worry about what people were going to think. There was no time to worry about like, oh, should I go live? I don't know. I was like, I'm going live, like whatever. And I told everybody, this is like highly, highly, highly recommend this. Go live tonight. Declare your goals tonight on Instagram. Go on live and be like, I am going for this massive goal in my business. And this is what I'm like working towards. Even sharing like, what I like exactly what you need to do. Because a lot of people, I realized the first like 2 weeks of me declaring it were like, well, what do I need to do to like, I want to support you, but how do I do that? Whatever. So it's like, tell them what you're doing, tell them how they can support you. Like that's my best advice, because I had so many dream teamers like reach out to me and be like, I want to support you. And then they already have their products. And like a girl's like, this is the best my skin's ever looked. And I'm like, awesome. Do you want to find some friends that want to do it with you? And she's like, yeah. And then now she signed up on my team. And like, I actually thought about Danielle and Meg's story about like how Meg bought the 30 Days Healthy Living Danielle bought 30 Days Healthy Living from Meg when she was going nation and then like decided to do the business. And I'm like, I am finding my Danielle McCleary's right now. That is what I'm doing. Like that is my goal this month, is to find my Danielle McCleary's who are out there, who don't even know what they need right now, but I know they need Arbonne. And so that was like what I did every single day. I was going out there. I was sharing. I was like on live. I was telling everybody where I was at. I was updating everybody. My entire family was texting me like, how close are you? What's going on? Like, what do I need to do? Like, I thought of another friend that I just sent you their number. Like, I told these people to follow you and a couple of them are going to be reaching out. Like, my entire life was involved. Every single person in my whole life was involved in this goal. And so and then obviously at the end, like things were coming out of freaking nowhere. Like last night, I could go on and on about stories what happened last night of people coming out of the woodworks and being like, hey, I want to buy a nutrition kit. And also I have a group of girlfriends and there's 10 of us and I'm just going to get nutrition kits for all of us. And like literally 11 kits in like 5 seconds. And we're like, what is happening? Like, it was coming out of nowhere, but it's because I put it out there. Everyone knew what I was going for. And then like, it gets people thinking like, okay, like this is kind of cool. Okay, I might know someone who needs this. Like, or maybe I can't buy anything. Like, people were, it was insane. Like, I could go on and on about what happened last night, but it was so insane. You guys, we did halfway to nation in my district. Like, which means I found a lot of new people. I had 3 girls sign up in January who went area qual. Like, I had girls who had been sitting on the bench for a year come back, like literally raised from the ashes and go area manager in 1 month with the incentive. Like, none of our stories are typical, by the way, but it was insane. And that's the power of a decision. You saw the numbers. That's it. I decided and I got into action, and I didn't waste a single second last month, and I didn't sleep a lot, but it's okay. I slept until noon today, so it's all good. So, and now it's like, now we're back on it, and I'm already thinking like, okay, so 220,000, how many fit kits is that? Okay, I could probably do that all myself. Like, I'm literally just like acting as if it's just, I'm a team of one, and I'm going to go out there and find an entire new team to help like bring me the 220,000 that I need for this month to finish out nation. Like, you don't need your team. You don't need your current team. Your current team is amazing, and you love them so much, and you want so badly for them to like get this, and you know it could like totally change their life. And like, sometimes you just hold on to that for dear life because you have the right, heart about it, and you want so badly to help them, but they're only going to do what they're going to do. You can't convince anyone. All you can do is inspire. I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me this last month saying like, you inspired me to go for my big goal because I saw you going for your big goal. So that's what it's going to do to your team. If you're going for your big goal, other people on your team are going to be like, okay, why not? I'll just go for it too. Heather's going for this freaking crazy goal. I might as well too. Like, that's what's going to happen. So you guys, that's all I have because I've rambled for a long time, but I am just so grateful that I got to share this with you. It was actually kind of nice because I feel like I was kind of processing what just happened like while I was talking. So I'm really glad I got to do this, but you guys are so amazing.
I love you.
I love you so much.
Oh my gosh.
You're amazing.
And you just spent your first 5 hours after going qual with us. And after 5 hours of going qual, once you woke up 5 hours later, whatever.
Yeah, I know. I'm honestly so happy to do it, you guys. Like, it honestly helped me. I'm like freaking pumped. I just want to reach out to people.
Like, let's go work.
Yeah, seriously.
It's so
oh my
awesome.
God.
I'm like staring at everyone's faces while you're talking. I don't know, and I'm like brain like aha moment. Oh my gosh, like everyone's brain is like I know 120 people. I can totally do this. I just want to like reiterate. I loved how you said if you have time to check your numbers, you aren't working hard enough.
Yeah.
Guys, when you're pushing for a big goal, I mean, I've never really been like a dashboard person. Like, I'm just like, who's next? Like, if you have to just run. You nailed it on the head, Heather. I'm so freaking excited for you. I'm so excited to see what this beginning of the month call is going to do for each and every one of you guys for areas and VPs and us even ENVPs.
I was going to say, I'm going nation again. I don't know about you guys.
I love you guys so much. Like, seriously, the NVPs on this call, like, you guys are my favorite NVPs in Arbonne, like 100%. Like, you're my favorite success line ever. Like, Danielle, Meg, Erica, Rose, Shelby, like, holy F. You guys are all my favorite NVPs in the entire world. So
We love you.
We
love you guys so
Can't
much.
wait to be a part of it.
Thanks, Heather.
So who's
Love you
going to
guys.
call this month?
So awesome. Thank you.
Let's do it. Tammy's going Nation Qual. I know that.
Yes, I am. You completely fired me up. Oh my God. I've been like soaking you in this call. I'm like, oh my, I need all of this.
Real question though. Can you go from area straight to RVP qual?
You mean MVP qual?
MVP qual?
Yeah.
25
No.
to 60? You can't do it, right? I didn't think so. Okay.
I mean, you have to finish region before, you have to be a regional vice president to go nation. But
Yeah.
And you have to do nation in at least 2 months, or region in at least 2 months. But you could, if you did 160, then you would absolutely go into qual for region, and then the next month you do 40 at least, and then you're a region, and then the next month do 160 again in your nation. So yeah, just do 160 for the next 3 months, and you're a nation.
I love you, Ash.
Nation in general,
I mean, why not?
not MVP qual. Just
Ash, you were
pretty much your nation. Is that what you're saying? I'm just adding. I just want to know.
yeah, if you saw her numbers in December, you
Yep. 25,568. You guys,
But you
anything's
actually, you would just have to do, like Dee said, 160, 160, 160, and your nation promotion would need to be a 3 months. You can get region first and then finish nation.
Nation the next month. So it's
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that Amy and Seth Perry are on here too. That's amazing. I like didn't see them, but I'm obsessed with you guys too. So literally, like the MVP team on here is insane. I'm obsessed with all of you guys.
I'm so ready to work.
Me too.
But I'm
same.
ready to work now. Love you. Love you.
Love you guys. Thank you so much
you.
for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Frickin' February.